Hello and welcome back to the Bigos Fuelcast. From the forecourt to the future, we discuss everything regarding the downstream operations of the oil and gas sector. My name is Marvin and I am your host for this show. Today we are back with a very sensitive subject, the price of fuel. Many occurrences have happened in the world. On the 28th of February, the United States, Israel and Iran went into what many would call a full-scale war, and we all know the effects. The Strait of Hormuz was closed. The Strait of Hormuz carries about 20% of the world's oil. Also, 20% of the liquefied natural gas goes through the Strait of Hormuz. And of course, if you all of a sudden take away 20% of any product off the global market, this shock will be felt. And indeed, we've felt the shock. The prices back then, I think the liter of fuel the liter of petrol was about 4,500. Right now, the last time I checked, it's ranging about 6,700 and even increasing. But all that has not been all. Whereas the war has been going on, efforts to stop the war occurred. And on the 14th of June, the President of the United States announced that a deal between the United States and Iran had been reached. And immediately, the Strait of Hormuz was opened. So if the strait was opened and the oil is flowing, like Trump likes to tweet, drill, baby, drill. So in other words, the drilling of oil is in place. I'm back with Alan. Alan, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Alan, the strait is open. The deal has been reached. But somehow I haven't seen the effects of that deal on the price board at the fuel station. I'm still paying more. Many people actually, instead of the prices going down, I've seen some stations, the prices
Just
are going
up.
What's happening?
The prices, because remember in the last series we discussed about the rocket and feather effect.
Yes, I remember the rocket and feather effect.
Yeah.
Of the rocket goes straight up and the feathers come. Anyway, for those who missed our episode, maybe first give them context on what is this rocket and feather scenario.
Because before in February, when the war started, the prices were kind of fair, but when the war immediately started, the prices hiked up.
Went up, yes.
So that's the rocket. You know, when the rocket is setting off from the ground,
it's very speedy.
I won't say it like Kasaja. Kasaija. Sorry. So it just goes up very, very high. Because of the fear and the panic people have, even the business people, they have fear that the product they are going to purchase the next time, it will be a bit expensive. So it will be wise for you to increase the price such that when you're making another order, at least you have the capital to purchase the product. So the prices go up because of the panic in the public.
There's something you've said of they increase the prices because they anticipate that indeed the prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
Then they increase the prices so that when they are going back to buy more, to restock, they have enough money
to purchase
according to the market price.
Exactly.
Okay, that was new. Go ahead.
So you would expect prices to go up at a very high speed.
Yes.
So, and before, a barrel of fuel was about 69.
Yes.
But when the war started, it went up to 138.
Yes. I think
USD
that was on the 30th.
barrel.
On the 30th of April is when it reached the maximum, the highest it has been in recent years, $138 per barrel.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the product we've been purchasing all that period, it has been on a higher price.
Yes.
So the feather has to come in right now. You're saying where they have opened the Strait of Hormuz, but the prices are not reflecting this side, but they are even just going up.
Yeah, because in terms of prices going down, the barrel right now is trading at $83. So from 138 to 83,
$83.
it must mean something to me as a consumer.
You want to feel it also the same.
I have to feel it because it doesn't make sense if I don't feel it. It's just numbers I read about, and I'm still paying even more. So tell me this feathers effect in the context of the prices going down.
Yeah. So we are in the feathers effect right now, because when a feather is coming down, it doesn't come down like you have thrown a stone from up coming down.
It takes its time.
It takes time to reach the ground. So there are many challenges, not only challenges, and business-wise, we can't just take down the price because the war has ended their side. This is where it comes in. The stock, the government already has stock because it's the government that brings in our fuel right now. It's yereta amafuta gaffe. So they already have stock in their depots. Yeah, at the other price. Not only that, even there are some shipments ezitanaba natuuka cost kuyingira gwanga.
That was bought at the higher price.
Yeah. So abantu nga bakyali eyo bakyasanyuka olutalo lwawedde amafuta gagenda kudda wansi, but it's not going to be immediate. You shouldn't expect that change to be immediate right now. It will take some time. That's what we call the feather effect. Because kati amafuta egabanga gakyali ku mmeeri tegananatuuka kutuuka mu Mombasa oba wa gatwalamu direct, even gatracking gayingiza mu Uganda. So I think we ordered that fuel on a higher price. But we have not even finished that stock. Even the stock that we have in the country is still on the other price. So we can't just cut the price because they have opened the Strait of Hormuz. So I think you can see that business-wise, they can't just...
Okay, I get it. But so what factors kind of like influence the feathers effect? The slowness of the prices coming down. Yes, we get the stock being gotten at a higher price. Isn't there a possibility where maybe government can subsidize and say, since good, they may be tujja bafunirako on another stock? First, explain to me what are the real details in the pricing of fuel?
In the pricing of fuel, because there's the landed cost, a cost ya refinery, amafuta ge refining ogakyusa ogaza, because it's crude oil before.
Yes.
So they refine it ogaza mu petrol, the petrol that you put in your cars. Kati that is there's a standard price. There's a standard price. You know, when people reached the totems of fuel stations or the price boards, and they see that price, the dealer or the fuel station owner ku price eyo ye kirabika afunako should I say 2% or ku price eyo, because the 80%, 85% is the standard price which is set for the crude oil and the refined oil. So look at the transportation. It's going shipping it into the country. The insurance costs, through the pipeline to Eldoret, the storage, they have to charge you. So before it's trucked in into the country, you expense all that. And right now, the insurance companies have increased the premiums.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's not like before the war. Now, because of that situation, they increased their premiums. So even the premiums right now are still high because of the shipments which are coming into the country. Kati ekyo ojasooka okirabe nti tetunaba kumazaawo na stock tetuyina what we already have here in the country. Again, this stock which is coming in at the other price, at a higher price. Kati hiyo yonna stock tulina ogisooka ogimalamu, then we go back tufune amafuta kati ku bei abantu gye bagaagalako. Okiraba? But nga tetunaanatuukayo eyo, the budget has just been read recently.
I was coming on it.
Yeah.
Because nga bw'ogambye, there's stock that we ordered that hasn't arrived at the higher cost. And given other factors, market forces, there's even a chance that it could go up.
Yeah.
The pricing maybe to almost to 7,000. And now the budget.
The budget comes
There's a
in.
new exercise duty on fuel. Tell me about it.
There's something which surprises me. It is a shock. I should call it a shock. You know, people are facing hard times buying fuel right now. We would think the government, when it was reading the budget, they would do something. Like you say, they do a subsidy or what. But people there are jubilating. Bakuba good bamanyi prices zigenda kukka. But jukira right now tuli mu kakaaga lukaaga. Price of fuel.
Averagely.
And diesel is overtaking petrol. And you know when diesel overtakes petrol, buli kimu kiba kigenda kweyongera.
So because most of the consumer, rather the public service vehicles use diesel.
Yeah, they
public
use
transport is heavily reliant on diesel.
Yeah.
Which means the everyday person is going to feel the price.
Exactly. So you would expect the government to come in and say, before we read this budget, at least katukolere ku bantu baffe. But ubalabanga amafuta gatuse ku kakaaga lukaaga and people are still moving. I think for them they think abantu bakyalina sente. Do you know what they did? Instead of taking down the tax on the fuel, they just increased the 200 shillings on fuel.
We have to become a middle income country. And tax is one of those things that
Exactly.
bring into our coffers.
Exactly. Yeah. But people, you're seeing people struggling, businesses are
it's not
struggling.
a good time to raise such a tax.
Yes, and business rely more on fuel to survive. So it is this time that the government would come in and at least lower the taxes on the fuel. But instead they came in and increased 200 shillings. Remember, even the last budget, they increased 200 shillings. Meaning, even next year, they will increase. We don't know what they will increase. Because
so, what this means is if the price, let's say, right now stabilizes at 6,700, because right now it is about 6.
Because the increase right now that people are facing right now, and remember the increase has come in after the budget being read, is because of the 200 shillings.
So
companies are anticipating kati bagenda twongerako ebibiri ebyomusolo. So for them that's what we call the rocket. Kati bonga tebanana kwongera bibiri ne babiwulira mu babisomye, automatically they push the prices up.
So for someone watching, aside from the war that is happening in the Middle East, which was the preliminary reason why the prices went up, the government of Uganda is also another reason why the prices are still going to go up.
Exactly, because you don't expect the prices to go back to 4,000.
Even when the war ends.
Yeah. We are not going to go back. Abantu muli mugamba amafuta gagenda kuddayo gye gaali kubanga kati government yayongeddemu n'ennusu bibiri already. Kati kitegeeza tujja kubeera nga tuseeyeera mu 5,000 kudda waggulu.
So the best deal a Ugandan can get after every dust has settled.
Because the tax on petrol only is 1,750 shillings. So if you see that board price, government takes tax of 1,750 shillings on petrol.
Now, does that include the 200 shillings that has been...
Exactly.
So initially it was 1,570. Now it is 1,750.
Yeah, and the diesel, 1,450 shillings on diesel. So on that pump price, you see, first deduct the taxes. Katujja kulaba nti ne taxes nazo zinfluencinga that price to stay at this. Wetulabira kati weeri. Tejja kukka nnyo kuddayo gye twali kubanga ebibiri babiyongeddemu already.
And 200 is a very significant margin.
It's too much. And not only on fuel alone, now even the LPG prices have increased.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is the increment in the LPG pricing?
Because before the war, companies were selling LPG at 50,000.
That is for the 6 kilogram.
Yeah, for the 6 kg.
Yes.
And the 12 kg, it was around 100,000. And right now, the 6 kgs is selling at 60,000. So there's a difference of 5,000 to 10,000.
10,000, depending on which dealer
Different companies,
you're using. So that means, because if the price of LPG has increased, it means most of these urban restaurants in Kampala use LPG to prepare meals
Exactly.
in their kitchens.
So if you visit a restaurant, nosanga nga akatogo bakongeddemu ebbiri,
I shouldn't complain.
tukuba abantu emiggo. Oyinza okukaya naate akatogo ka wano katuuse eddi eyo.
So, Alan, I want you to paint for me a picture, especially for an everyday Ugandan, of what all these, because we've talked about many increments. Of Sento Boyongedem, Bibidi, then on LPG, and then there's still the war. Yes, there's a deal right now, but we're not sure if the deal is going to hold. And meanwhile, I don't know if you've read the MOU. I've read the MOU. And one of the points is on the Strait of Hormuz. As of right now, it's open. But there's a clause that says that after 30 days, Iran and Oman is the other country. So the Strait of Hormuz is controlled by Iran and Oman. So one of the points in the MOU is like, after 30 days, Iran and Oman will sit down to negotiate and determine the future handling and operations of the Strait of Hormuz. So, and experts are predicting that, because Oman has wanted to put a toll fee on every ship that
so they want to charge everything.
Actually,
that
at some point
there.
during the war, before they installed mines in the strait, about 5 to 10 ships were charged $2 million per ship to pass
those vessels.
Yes. Actually, it's the reason why the United States installed a blockade on Iran, on all Iranian ports.
Because
so
it was charging.
Yes. They had installed mines in the strait in such a way that for you to pass, Oiteno next to the shores of Iran, and the IRGC will tax you, or they are the ones who will tell you where to pass. They are the ones that grant you safe passage.
So kati ne wabirawo abasirikale ba traffic awo.
Exactly. No, olaba nga Entebbe Express. Nti okuyitawo olina okusasula 15,000 ne bakunyigira akapesa. Kyuma ne kijja n'oyitawo. So that is what Iran was doing. And if you watch the Iranian leaders in their press conferences, they are saying that the Strait of Hormuz, the operations in the Strait of Hormuz will not return to the state as they were before the war started. So there is a high chance that the negotiations between Iran and Oman could result into some kind of fee that every ship pays before they transit through the strait. So that means, indeed, there will be a trickle-down effect.
Yeah, it will affect, of course, the prices. Because if
the prices,
if they are charging the transporters the passage, and people are charging some money, automatically it would influence the price of the
pricing
pump.
Here. Now, I want you to paint a picture for a Ugandan consumer, one who travels by taxi, or the border guy who has just entered the border business. They're hoping to change their lives or make a living and sustain their families. What does this pricing mean to them? And what advice would you give them?
It's not, people should, it's not even an advice. I would tell them to only tighten their seat belts.
Hey, and you're coming in hard.
No. You have to tell people the facts.
The truth.
Yes. Other than
Can't
just...
you tell it to them in a fair way?
You know, we are not politicians here. And this is not a political show. This is a business show. And we have to talk the truth. These are facts. So, if Iran starts charging the vessels that go through the Strait of Hormuz, you know, this has not been there before. But kati mpitawo wali nemmanya okuyisa wali taxi yange omusirikale owa traffic ayagalayo 5. Kiba kitegeeza bajeti yange ino kyukamu koza ino buli wempitawo wali eri nina okulekawoko kati nange nina okunoonya 5 zino zivaawa. So nja noonya wenziteeka wonna ku mafuta ago nti you the last consumer osasula sente ezo nange nsobole okuyitawo wali eri, so it will come back to you. Omusajja wa salawo n'agamba kati tukyajinge every vessel that passes through the strait. Kati naawe ali eyo kirina okuinfluencinga, of course kirina okukwatamu era ojja kiwulira. Kati waliwo ekintu kiwayogedde luli, you know Iran put mines in the waters.
Yes, in the strait. Yes.
So people are thinking that prices should go down immediately because they open the strait. You know, it takes also time to demine
the strait.
To demine the strait.
Yes.
So you should also
factor in that.
Yeah, put that in mind. Because the vessels, they have opened, but the vessels, you shouldn't expect them to just be passing now.
Actually, as it is right now, even though the strait is open, it is the Iranians that give you the coordinates through which to pass. If you meander around, you will hit a
the
man.
mines will hit you.
Yes. So they still have that leverage that even this 30-day, rather the 60-day negotiation period that the MOU has put in place, there's a chance it could fail.
I think that's why even the insurance companies are increasing their premiums.
Yes, even when the deal is in place, still the risk is still high because the MOU has another clause that is completely, not completely, but to a larger extent outside the influence of Iran and US as the two countries, which is the fight between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. Israel has extended almost 50 kilometers from its border into Lebanese territory. There's a river called the Litani River. So Israel wants to create a new border, they call it a buffer zone. They don't want anyone to live between the Litani River and the Israeli border. It's about 50 kilometers.
But Israel is also just, I don't know what it's trying to do, because they are fighting together with the US.
Yes, they are allies.
But if the US comes in and they are negotiating, but again for you still want to go ahead and do
I think their objectives are different, but for context, the MOU between Iran and the US requires a ceasefire on all fronts, including Lebanon. The text is very clear. I think it is in the first paragraph, in the first point of the MOU, in point number 1 of the MOU, ceasefire on all fronts. But somehow Israel is refusing to stop its war with Hezbollah in Lebanon.
And that will influence Iran to
the Iranians already, because Hezbollah is a proxy of Iran. So if the fighting continues in Lebanon, the Iranians already have the Strait of Hormuz as leverage.
So they can't demand
they will say we are not, or they will just close it anyway, again. And we are back to square one. So, which means the whole pricing conversation we're having, even if there is hope right now, it is not ultimate.
Actually, that's the right word now. The right word you should use. People should hope for a better price, but not expect a better price right now. Yeah.
So, let's talk to the business people, especially those that had or are planning or have interest into getting into the fuel business, operating fuel stations or logistics, transporting. What does this mean to them? Is this the right time for someone to get into the fuel business?
You know, there are people who can come in hard times and do business and thrive. So you can't say, actually, it wouldn't be the right time, but if you have capital and you can invest into the business, you can come in because the situation will go back to normal. But even before there are businesses which are affected right now. Now we look at the refineries.
Yes, talk about the refinery.
So
indeed.
when the war was going on, there were refineries that were hit. You look in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, their refineries were hit. So we shouldn't even expect the same supply we were getting last time before the war. Supply is going to be a bit hard because the refineries are down and those people have to come in and sort the damages. But if the damages are not yet worked on, because you remember when the war is still going on, they are afraid to come in and correct the damages because there is fear they may hit again.
Again, yes.
So they are waiting for the situation to settle.
To real settle, so that they can reconstruct.
And reconstruct. So even the supply, the demand will be high here, but we can't get the same supply as before. So those people have to first work on their refineries before even the prices go back to normal.
Actually, now when you talk about refineries, it's the same with the LPG. Qatar has the biggest LNG refinery, where I think 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas comes from Qatar. I can't sound the Arabic name of the facility, but
Yeah,
it was hit and it closed for about 2 weeks. That facility hadn't closed, I think, over the last 18 years. It hadn't closed.
Yeah.
So that stalling alone has consequences on, again, bringing it back to optimum capacity that it produces as it was pre-war. And like you said, the cost of reconstruction, it has by no kunonya webazigatirawo.
Yeah.
Right? So still, even for the LPG, people should expect higher prices.
The prices already increased. And it's a business sense. If you increase a commodity and people are still purchasing the commodity, it's very hard for a business to take it back to the normal price. It's very hard. Business-wise, gwe nawe akola business eyo mama nam. Sumbusa ogitadde ebadde ku 1,000, ogitadde ku 2,000 and people are still buying. N'okusingako oluusi ng'ebadde bagula. You expect mama nam to take it back immediately to 1,000?
No.
Kati naye business-wise ayinza okusalako 200 n'ebeera ya 1,800. So the price you see on the pump, it can't go back to the other price that we used to see before the war.
Because even the various market forces.
I think that's why even the government has come in to add the 200 shillings. Because they are seeing they are purchasing the product and people are still buying.
We need to get a government economist here and ask him these questions.
Yes.
But let's pivot a little bit. This year, 2026, government of Uganda expects the first drip of oil, our oil, from the Alberta and Graben. I'm told, I'm not sure, I think we should be guided. The pipeline works above 80% of the pipeline works have been completed. The aircop to Tanga in Tanzania. Should the Ugandan maybe think that, okay, the Iranian, the Arab oil is expensive because of the war and transport logistics and all these factors, like we've discussed them extensively. Should the Ugandan hope maybe that when it is our oil, the price is going to go down?
Because now we're looking at a pipeline which is going to transport what? Crude oil. And crude oil is not refined fuel. So we're transporting crude oil to
Tanzania.
From Tanzania to?
Back here.
To abroad?
To like whichever refinery might be.
Yeah.
Dangote wants to build one around here.
Yeah, he talked about that. The Dangote, I did Dangote series on TikTok. Dangote wants to put up a refinery in East Africa.
Yes.
The same capacity as the one he put in Nigeria.
Yes.
But there are still negotiations between the government, the free governments, because at first they had agreed to put it in Tanga, in Tanzania. But right now, when Dangote, after making a sort analysis about all the project, is saying
He's
now
preferring Kenya now. Yes.
as the option.
Yes.
But the good thing about Uganda, the president has a great idea for the country. He is going to put up a refinery here in Uganda to produce for the local market. Yeah.
Okay.
It will be around 64,000 barrels per day. That can cater for the local market.
For
here.
us.
Yeah. And that will be a great... I think when the Ugandans see the refinery here in Uganda finished and all the construction work is done, that's the right time for them
For us to
jubilate.
hope that prices are going to come down.
Yeah. Because now if the product's just near there, it's just tracking and reaching you at your pumps. Even they can slash the price because now remember they are not paying the shipment fees, no insurance.
Logistics are cut down.
The logistics are cut down. So you would expect the price of fuel even to go back to around 3,400.
But practically,
That's
Alan,
if we have a refinery here.
but practically for us, the construction and all that to happen here is not in the short term. It is in the medium term.
Yeah.
Probably we're talking 5 to 10 years. So, but back to the question, back to the point of we have our crude. It goes to Tanga. And then from Tanga, maybe it's taken to Lagos or the UAE or wherever the nearest refinery is or wherever a refinery is that we've made a deal with. Won't it have any effect?
Yes, this is where they should say amafuta gaffe. Naye we tuba tugenda ofuniramu, at least we have got a project to finance the government budget.
Okay.
So it's the government of Uganda to come in negamba wa wetuyinza okukwatiramu abantu baffe. Because they are just selling crude and the government is earning what?
Is earning foreign exchange, yes.
So because they are saying they added the 200 shillings to finance the what?
The budget.
The budget.
Yes.
But now you've got the product you're selling that is financing the budget. Why don't you reduce on the tax you're charging on the fuel?
So just for context, the most realistic way Ugandans can benefit from our oil, especially here in the short term, is not the prices of fuel going down. Rather, it's not that we will get very cheap fuel.
Yeah.
It is more of government will get an alternative source of income.
Yeah. And
subsequently, bayinza otukwatiramu gamba. This 200 we had, the excess duty we had increased in the last financial year, we are slashing it down.
Because you've got an
alternative source of income.
Yes, because right now we don't have any source and you are increasing the 200 shillings and you are saying twongeddemu ebibiri ebyo kubanga twagala financing a budget. But now you have an alternative source, you're selling our crude. Abantu bafunirewa impact y'amafuta gaabwe.
Especially immediately.
Yes. So the government has to come in. Bagamba tusirashinze oba taxes za 10 because we are selling crude. Now we have what is financing the budget. Katusaliremu abantu baffe to boost the businesses. Aho okawe tuyinza okifuniramu. Naye kati okutunda crude. It's the government which has to come in and slashing our taxes because they have an alternative source of income.
So Alan, I want to take you back a little bit, especially for the subject on those who want to join the business. Like in any chaotic environment, waberawo abafunamu, waberawo n'abafiirwa. And mostly abafunamu are those with information and maybe strategic decision making.
Yeah.
As Bigos, what sort of advantage can you give to someone who wants to get into the business now? Mwino bukodyo, like, I don't know if you get what I mean. Someone coming to Bigos now during this time and they want to get into the fuel business, what advantage might they have over someone who gets in normally?
Because right now they have a big advantage because I have a number of fuel stations that the owners want to get out of business right now.
Oh, okay.
They're getting out of business because it's very difficult for their stations right now to survive because they don't have fuel sometimes and they don't have capital to purchase the product because the prices have increased and those forces of income that are pulling them down. Right now, they don't have what to finance the business.
They
right
cannot sustain the station.
because remember, they get a small margin on the fuel they are selling. So if the company which was selling the fuel is only keeping fuel for its stations and it's not selling to the private station, so they will first supply their stations before they think about you.
Yes.
So there are many businesses that are fuel stations that are out there for lease, and these owners are giving them out. So if someone has capital and would want to invest into this business,
Now would be a good time.
yeah, it's a good time right now. Because we have a number of fuel stations right now which are open for lease. So if someone has money and comes in to invest in the business, this is the right time.
So
They should come in.
technically, this is the time to benefit from the chaos.
Yeah. Watu wano bo abagezi we bafuniramu naye kati waliwo n'abafiirwa kati abo benkugambye kuba kati ye alaba their small margins ate kati essaawa eno sente zikendedde
Zimukutemu.
yes. And remember, when the station is not selling, customers run away. But if you are out there and you want to invest into the fuel station business, this is the right time you should come in. Because we have a number of fuel stations that are out for lease. If you are interested in into this business, we can get you good stations which have good volumes that can help you make money. Kuba obeera ku fuel station ng'osobola okufunayo sente buli mwezi. Business osobola okuba ng'otereseewo sente zo ate ng'ofuna ne sente okola profits. So this is the right time they should come in and invest in these fuel stations.
So, Alan, as an expert, I want you to do some predictions for me. When do you hope we will start to see a change
in prices.
in pricing, and what kind of change should we expect to see?
Because remember when the war had just started, the volume that we had the UNICO had, the capacity that they had, it would take us for around 14 to 28 days, around there. So right now, because they had anticipated the war is still going on, and they had purchased fuel, as I've told you, some fuels are still on the vessels coming to the country.
Yes.
And we also have stocks.
That is already in our tanks now.
Yeah, that is already in our tanks. So today, you take like a month to two.
So 30
To
to
see
60
at least a
days
difference, yeah.
to start to see a change.
A change in fuel prices.
Alan, Uganda is tough.
Yeah, because if we still have volumes in our tanks
In reserve, yes.
in reserve right now, so they can take us for this month. So what is on the way coming to the country can take us for a month. That's why I'm giving you 1 to 2 months to such slight change in prices.
What is this slight?
Yeah. So the prices will go back at around, they can't go back to 4,000.
Okay.
That one I'll be lying to you. Tezisobola kuddayo kubanga kati balaba mulinamu kasente.
Mubadde mugagula even if the prices were higher.
And even if they reduce to 5,000, you would be happy.
Of course.
Oba musanyufu olaba basaza amafuta. Naye gaba tegaze ku bbeeyi gabaddeko because kati bagali kakaaga lukaaga. Niwe bakugirako olukaaga ogamba.
Of course.
You take off some
Actually,
pressure.
these days, most times, especially those roads that have multiple stations, omuntu wants to fuel, but asooka kuvuga nga bw'asomako. Inalaba eno kakaaga lukaaga
Sijja kyama.
najja mu maaso the one in front name disappointing nga kakaaga lusanvu n'agenda era eye kakaaga 5-5 just trying to find the slightest difference for them to fuel. So bw'oba ogamba that for the next 30 to 60 days, that chance of of it coming down is not,
Mm.
you don't predict it. It will be harder.
Yeah, and the range will be between 5,000. It can't go back to. It will be there.
So your prediction is that 5,000 is the best deal we will get
Because remember,
after all factors.
remember before the war, amafuta gali mu 14,900, 18,000, around there, 48, 49. So the government has added
Already a bibidi.
the 200
So
shillings.
let's take the best line of 4.8. So that means a bibidi now makes it 5,000.
Yeah.
So without the war effects and anything. So, and again, the war effects cannot just disappear. The
Yeah.
feathers effect you
Yeah.
put in. So
And the
actually,
business mind also.
someone for them to make some markup
Yeah.
or so to make some margin.
Yeah.
So realistically, we're even talking about tano bitano.
Tano bitano kudda waggulu. Tekasobola kuddayo wansi.
So
That would be the
speaking of that,
the range.
someone just sent me a WhatsApp actually, asking that even during this whole conversation of prices have gone up, government is duty, why then do some stations still sell? Some are really. There's one of 6, like on the same road, Kakaga Rusanvu, and another one Kakaga Vinamwatan. How do you explain that?
You know, this comes back to what we've been talking about here. Purchasing fuel, they are saying at higher price. There are fuel stations here that are selling, fuel station companies that are selling fuel. And they are selling volumes more than some fuel stations.
Okay.
So, when they go back to UNOC,
To get another
stock, when they reach there, they find the price when they have increased the price their side. Kati era right now in the market wolaba waliwo fuel stations etubadde tumanyi nga zibeera wansi, but they are a bit higher. But in 2 weeks from now or 1 week or by the start of this week, you're going to see prices going up for those companies. Abamu bakyalinamu stock oli abadde ku lower price, kati ate zino so fuel station zafunye stock gwe batadde kudda n'omusolo ate gwe baali bafuna ku bbeeyi nga bamwongeza dda. So price eba eriko waggulu. Those are the price differences that you're seeing in the market. And apart from that, you know, this market, there are companies which sell premium fuel and regular fuel.
Yes.
So we can't also have the same prices
Same
because
pricing.
of that.
Yes.
There are those ones. Those ones which are selling premium have a little bit a
Slightly higher pricing.
price.
Yes.
But those ones selling regular, you see the prices are favorable
Yes.
because they are selling regular fuels. So even that makes the difference also.
Still, so for someone to know which fuel station has been selling a lot, especially during now is a good time to know which fuel station is selling a lot, because one that has had sort of a fluctuating means that the stock has been going fast, and different stock priced at different pricing determines the price on the price board.
Yeah, but there are also companies that have logistic issues.
Okay.
So usually you have seen brands here and big brands reaching their fuel stations and they're out of fuel.
Yeah.
Eh.
There's that thing. Oh, the price board is reading 0. all
Zero,
through.
zero, zero.
Yes.
It's not because they are selling, it's because of the logistic issues.
Like how they move their fuel.
They move their
from
fuel
their
to
depots to the different stations.
Exactly.
Yes.
So kati n'ekyo mwekiri. So those stations are out of fuel. Sinti babadde batunda nnyo, no. Because they have issues in their them transporting fuel to their fuel stations. Kati n'ekyo kireesemu obuzibu. N'ekirala, waliwo era you've seen brands in this crisis that it's very hard to reach their stations and you find there is no fuel.
Yes. There are those that have been consistent.
Kati those are the brands that are selling. Kati ezo zo osanga ayongeza, you osobola okutegeera this station is making money, bano batunda ate balina stock ompya. Because when they increase, like after a week or two, you see even these ones increasing because kati bano baba amazizza mbo nga balese stock endala. Kati naawe osobola okipimira awo.
Alan, we've talked about this before, but let's talk about it again. Okutereka amafuta. Because again, I'm sure some of our viewers are going to watch this episode and be like, oh, Alan says for the next 30 to 60 days, we might not see a change in the prices of fuel. Ninkwate ebidomola byange 50 of them, I put them on my Ford Ranger. I go to my nearest fuel station, byonna ne mbipakira.
Webibeera nga bya mafuta.
Now, that is awenjagala okujja because most of them I've seen bino ebyaffe ebya bulijjo eby'amazzi oba abamu n'obucupa. Is this a good time for me to go and buy my fuel and store it somewhere?
I don't think people should be panicking right now because whenever people come in and panic, you also influence the prices to increase. Because you're creating demand.
Yes.
And when you create demand, the supply is not the normal supply that we had. Remember,
you stress the supply.
You stress the supply. Ate kati wano refineries buzz heatinga omusajja tanaba kusumula straight kugamba muyitewo nga mwagala ate agenda kucharginga oba okiraba n'ekyo. Kati people should not panic to take jerrycans to fuel stations nti batekemu amafuta. Ate n'ekirala, fuel containers are different from these plastic jerrycans that people, ezo jerrycans is advisable kuteka mafuta. And the government has stressed it by the fuel companies know. They have refused them to sell fuel in jerrycans.
Oh, it's not allowed to sell fuel in jerrycans?
Yeah. Era kati olaba fuel station ezitunda amafuta mu jerrycans mu bucupa zikikola legally, but it's not acceptable. Government tekikkiriza. Bakuwa amafuta because kali section yagala kukola volumes kutunda because nawe tebalina kyakukola. Banoonya ba customer. So if someone comes in with 10 jerrycans and he wants 1,000 liters, you tell him to go back with the jerrycans because you're not selling. The deal is nice, so you just have to give them fuel. But the public shouldn't panic because it's dangerous to put fuel in such jerrycans and keep them at home. Kati olya jaziteeka ewaka, you're breathing in, petrol evaporates and it evaporates at a very high rate. Kati muma muvaamu carbon monoxide and it's not good for human
someone
beings
to
inhale in. Kati bakyaffectinga. Sunday advising because now it's not like before, but right now we have hope. The war is going to stop. These people are negotiating, the prices will go back. At least the prices will go down. So you don't have to panic and carry jerrycans, carry bottles and go and run to fuel stations for fuel. No, tebalina kikola. Because wakikola, you're creating demand. Ate mwagala amafuta gake. So if you buying fuel mbotereke waka agakutwaliza emyezi 2 bwogayina ewaka. Kati just imagine you take like 2,000 liters and within a week the prices start going down. Kati ogenda wulira otya? Ate gekigenda kuyisa bubi nnyo. Okitegeera? So people shouldn't panic. Kozesa kyobadde okozesa ekikutumala kikutwalirize as we hope for a better price.
Alan, we're coming to the end of the show, but the margins on the fuel that fuel stations put in for it to make business sense. I mean, there's a public conversation on some of them putting a lot of margins. I want you as an expert who has been in, who understands this field in and out. How would you advise, for example, like the new station owners who are thinking about what kind of margins should I put in during this time when the prices, there's a turbulence in prices, but also when there is stability? for them to keep making, for the business to keep making sense, as in there's profit, but also not to cheat consumers. Talk to me about how best can they strike a balance, or maybe how does Bigos come in terms of advising on pricing, depending on the circumstances.
Because right now, for the big brands that you see, they have specialists and experts at their offices that control these prices. The prices that you see on those fuel stations are not determined by the fuel station dealers. They are determined by someone there.
For the companies, the big ones. The big brands, yes.
Those are the big brands. But there are also those private stations.
Yes. So why I'm asking this, you see, averagely in Kampala, the price is what, 6,600, 6,700. You go to Moroto right now, that's not the price we're talking about, because the station is privately owned.
Yeah.
You go to Ntungamo, you go to some of these no, they don't even necessarily have to be remote. I think it is the distance from the capital city. You find a station pricing 10,000.
10,000 or 9,000.
We understand, yes, the logistics of getting the fuel from Kampala to Moroto. There's a higher cost, but it cannot amount to 10,000.
Yeah.
Especially, that is the group I want you to talk
private
about.
stations.
Yes. Private station dealers. Yes, or owners. Yes.
We have talked about the private station owners struggling and they are leasing off their fuel stations because they get hard time in getting that fuel. So if someone gets hard time in purchasing fuel to reach his station and he thinks even the next time I'll go through the same struggle.
Yes.
Kati agamba kantiikireko ddala akenda bagagule mpola mpola gantwalirize before I come in bwe gagweramu nja kuba nkuŋŋaanyiza ku ssente ate nago nga gankoledde ssente to go back and purchase. But it will work for you for this period, but in the long run, business wise, it's not clever. Because customers are going to know that this station B is selling fuel expensively
at an overpriced rate.
You know, these stations are selling with, just in a kilometer, there is a big brand there. A private station is selling 9,000, but you find a big brand is selling 6,600 shillings. So business-wise, you are chasing our customers to go to your neighbor. But it will be a good idea for those private station dealers to at least have
a fairly balanced
price these major brands in the industry. Because if you increase the prices because you are scared of getting the next load, ogenda kufuna obuzibu oba oyagala kukola magoba mangi, because right now you know amafuta galinnye ate oli eri ggulu terimbwa akulaba oba government egenda kujja kukola ki.
Government supervisor won't be coming there in a while.
But this is your business, mpozi ng'ogikooye. And that's why I'm telling you, most of them are coming out and they are saying they are leasing out their fuel stations.
Yes.
Because in the long run, it's not going to work for them. Because customers, just imagine they go to an alternative, and reaching an alternative, they get good service. Not only good service, they have a fair price now, and sometimes even buying a premium product.
Or even the amenities around their facilities.
Yes, the facilities. So they can't come back to you. First, you're expensive. Your services might not be good. You see? So the person will be like, kati nzirirayo ekyeri. Abadde atubba bubbi. Tekigasa na kuddayo. Abadde atuseera wano we twalinga mu nnaku. When we are struggling tunoonya ssente z'amafuta yali agaseera. Kati amafuta gateeredde ayagala tuddeyo nedda. Katubeere ne bano ababadde naffe in this situation. So business-wise, it's not clever for those fuel stations to hike their prices. Kubanga ababaguza amafuta tebabaguza ku price eyo. No. Kati if a big brand is just your neighbor, it's selling 6,000 and you're selling 9,000. Really? Go government gwesinga okunyiga gwesinga okujjako omusolo omungi okusinga bali. Business wise it's going to affect them and it will affect the business, and this is the right time even these big brands are going to use to take off their fuel stations. Because you're going to see now fuel stations, those independent fuel stations are going to be taken by these big brands very soon, and some of them have already started taking them right now. Because tebakyasobola kati, yes, mu mbeera eno kati bawanise abamu bakkiriza kati a big brand will come in with money basuule 600 million ku gundi awo bakugambe tukuwa kati ozitunuulire nga bw'otunuulira station yo ozizzeeri ozitunuulire ku fuel station yo nga kati ewaffe mu Masaka nja kugulayo ettaka yiika n'eyiika z'ettaka, so ajja gamba twala leeta sente. But even these independent stations, you'll find the owners working for these big brands because now they know the business. So if a big brand loses your station, you can also become a fuel station dealer. At least nosigala ngokola ku sente kati ate nawe ojja kufuuka mukozi wa ziri company abadde alya magini ye yebina to 400 to 500 shillings. Now you'll be led by a company and you go to 100 shillings or to 200 shillings margin. Kati margin ejja kenderamu. Kati station business wise ekizikola okwongeza ebbeeyi because of the situation. It's not going to help.
Strategic for the sustenance of the business.
Not at all.
Yes.
It's going to affect them in the long run. Stations zigenda kugwa, their volumes are going to go down and they will sell them off.
Okay, Alan, as we close, I want you to overall tell, especially those in business, what Bigos can do for them during this period. If it is especially those that are struggling. I know there are some stations who the sources of their struggle might not be the cost of fuel.
Yeah.
It could be the general administration or the operations of the fuel station. And I've, you know very well, we've had these, many people are reaching out asking us how can some of them are seeking to restructure, some of them are seeking to just overhaul the operations of the stations for them to make business sense. So what can Bigos do for people or business owners that, especially that those are struggling, whether if it is from determining pricing or operations or staffing or customer care or anything strategic that could help them, first of all, stay afloat during this period, but also continue to run as a successful business even after the turbulence has gone on?
Because right now, this is the right time for fuel stations to increase their volumes. For me, it's the right time to increase volumes. And someone will be like, cut prices zero.
How do you increase volume? I was also going to ask you the same.
Because right now, as I've told you, some of the big brands have run out of fuel. And this small station for Mr. Kayanja there, it has been having fuel for all this time. But only having fuel does not help you
maintain a successful
business. The customers or maintain your customers to keep coming back to your station. Because now, when they come to your fuel station, what do you offer? What's different? What puts you stand out from the market?
What's the wow effect?
Yeah. So this is the right time. When new clients come into your fuel station right now, bawe service yetagisa enungi. And this is when this is where we come in, Bigos. tujja ne tuzimba tiimu yo, because we are going to see loopholes, because there are fuel stations which are not working before, but just because of this time bafunye bakasitoma bangi because they have fuel, but they can't even manage the customers they are getting. Abamu n'osanga nga they have 2 attendants. You have a queue of cars paka ku luguudo nga tebasobola na kubakolako. So we're going to come into your business tulabe obuzibu buvaawa. So kati wetulaba obuzibu bwe buva, awo tugenda okutandika okuyambira. Gwe oyinza okutunuulira bizinesi yo nga tulaba wa obuzibu bwe buva, but we are experts in this business, in this field. Ffe tuwe tujja ku bizinesi yo, be assured nti ogenda kufuna volumes ze weetaaga, era na buli kimu kyonna kigenda kuba nga kiri balanced bulungi. Togenda kufuna mu buzibu bwonna. From the staff, what they are supposed to do, because fuel station attendants and the staff on the fuel stations abasinga tebamanyi kyakukola. This is where you have fuel stations where they have pump attendants. Ng'omwana yamanyi omulimu gwe kusunda mafuta. Kuteeka munno. So how is the attendant helping the business? Kubanga naye woba omulimu guno tukuyambako mu process ya recruitment. Agenda kwongerako ki? Because it's not only mutaddewo okutunda butunzi mafuta. Ye akuleetedde ki? What is he putting on the table? Akuleetedde ki? So we train your staff. Ne baba nga bali business minded, nti si kujjayo bujja nnoze ku ssaawa 10 ngenda kuva ku pampu nzire ewaka. Because now they look at the clock. Baba tunula saa ziwera ddi nzire ewaka. But your pump attendants or your customer service attendants have to be trained to be business minded. And you can only do that when you come to Bigos. When you trust us with your business and we come down to your business, ne tukola assessment, ne tukuyamba, and we train your attendants to have that business mind. Nti omuntu atuula ku mulimu gwe n'amanya nti ndi kukolera mukama wange kukola ssente kubanga nange nina okufuna ssente. Ate nawe woba ofunye ssente ng'abaana bakukolera, try to motivate them, because you can't expect commitment without support. You're not supporting these staff members, but you expect them to be committed. Kati tukuyisaamu mweyo na 360 of the fuel station business. And in the next months, I'm coming up with series about the Uganda fuel station business. So we shall be talking, because right now there are fuel stations which are in business, but they are not actually in business. They are in a land business. Some fuel station mweziri muziraba, but money laundering. They're actually not in business.
That's big.
So I'm coming up with series about the fuel station business in Uganda. Because if you move to the major roads here in Uganda, if you move on Jinja Road, go to Masaka Road, Entebbe Road, even within a single kilometer, you can find like 3 fuel stations.
So how are they surviving in such a small market?
I know you're asking yourself that question. But now the margins are tiny, and the competition is insane.
Is the same. And the clients haven't increased that much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are coming out with a series to discuss about the Uganda fuel station business. Mutegeere abantu bano bafuna ssente. Fuel station ezimu ziri mu business oba teziri mu business. Abaana bayita mu kiki ku fuel station zino. So we are going to dissect each and every department in this sector. Those are our upcoming series. Kati stay tuned, just subscribe musigale ku channel eno mugenda kulaba ebyo byonna.
It's always interesting to talk to you, Alan, about the subject. Oil and gas. Many people argue differently about it, but I argue that it is very central to how we live our lives and how the economy of the world operates. Thank you very much for sparing time to talk to us. Like I always tell you, this episode or this podcast airs on YouTube and all our platforms. Please make sure to like, to subscribe, to comment, to follow, to share, to invite your communities to listen to some of these conversations, because they're central, and especially for anyone who wants to join the oil and gas sector in whichever way you want to join it. This is the space you have to be in. This is the information you have to be listening to. My name is Marvin, and until next time, bye.